Okay, well, hello again, and welcome back to the Wives Club. My name is Margaret, and I am a former wife, and I've got two other members of the Wives Club, which is a private Patreon group. We've gotten permission from Mr. Kevin Samuels to stand up a community of like-minded and marriage-minded women. So what we do here is we use his shows as lesson plans to talk about our takeaways and action items so we can all improve our outcomes. But today, we're going to do something a little bit fun. We're going to do a rapid fire response to a comment that we received from Mr. I on Detroit. Unfortunately, I don't know your name, but if you guys go back and look at the first Wives Club video, I actually asked for feedback, and boy, did we get it. We got a laundry list of things that Mr. Detroit said that he's looking for in a woman. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go through that list, and we're going to do a quick round robin, and we're going to talk about either what we have done or what we would do to accomplish this request, and then we'll wrap it up. So we'll go ahead and get started. But first, okay, so ladies, I should have numbered these, but I didn't. So let's go ahead and get started. The first bullet point, always create a loving experience and environment for your man to come home to. So I would do that by finding out what my man's favorite scent is and making sure that the home always smells that way. Lisa, what about you?
I would do that by having his TV set to whatever the game is on or some kind of sports or whatever he's interested into. Maybe making sure the house is quiet. If I know he's coming home from a hard day or whatever. So I just try to set the ambiance, what would best make him most comfortable. So that's one.
Awesome.
I would say clean house and keeping the refrigerator stocked with his favorite things.
Makes sense. Sounds great. All right, let's move on. The next request was to smile often. In fact, love to smile and smile with your eyes. Wow, that one's easy for me. I'm smiling all the time because I'm probably laughing on the inside all the time. So that one's kind of easy for me. Lisa, what about you?
I would say I wouldn't say this has always been my case, but I think later in my marriage, I've been married for 16 years, it's been easier to smile. I have more to smile about. But I will say earlier, I probably didn't smile as much as I should have. So, yeah.
Okay.
I love having a sense of humor, and then also like matching my sense of humor with my partner's sense of humor is really cool too. So that way you're just like kind of joking throughout the day, right? And you're automatically always smiling. So I think that's a good way to do it.
All right, awesome. The next bullet point, have a peaceful and innocent aura about yourself, not a sneaky, chaotic, and dismissive demeanor. Again, on that one, I think that one kind of comes naturally to me. I'm actually kind of naive about a lot of things, so I'm very curious, so I wouldn't have any issue with that one. Lisa, what about you?
I would say when I was dating my husband, I did that, but I found out later after I was married, like the stuff that he thought I was doing sneaky or my little, whatever, like I found some money or something and I got excited about it. He liked that. He was like, oh, and I didn't know that until after I was married, that he was like, yeah, when you found that money and you shared it with me, that was great. He was like, so yeah, that's not a problem for me, but it makes sense from a guy's perspective.
I would say like mastering the art of Zen, staying calm when things do get triggering, just being able to take a step back and breathing and being that Zen in your life. But as far as the other piece, I would say when you do have a partner, right? Being open and transparent with everything. The only time I could be sneaky is if I'm planning a party or something like that. That's when you'll know. What are you planning?
Gotcha. That's a good one. All right. The next request says an element of shyness, but willing to try new things. And for this one, I would always show gratitude and being open. I remember, we took a vacation that I wanted to take, and there was an excursion option that was part of the vacation that was like to a farm or something nature, which I am not, but I was open to it because that's something that's important to him. So I always try, to make sure that what he wants to do is something that we include. What about you, Lisa?
Which one are we on? Are we on soft spoken?
No, this one was an element of shyness, but willing to try new things.
Oh yeah. I got on the wrong bullet point. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm very shy, but what did my husband do? We went horseback riding on a mountain in Costa Maya or something. And I never been on a horse, and least of all on a mountain. So, but I was willing to do it because that's what he wanted to do. And I did it. And he still talks about it like, well, you didn't let the man let go of the horse. You did just ride it natural. I'm like, no, but I did it. And I'm happy for it. And I told him I'd do it again. But, so yeah, that's not a problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think sometimes like you just kind of step outside your comfort zone, right? So like in CrossFit, I've been doing it for a few weeks now, and I just got on the bar, and it looks intimidating. There's all these people just like bench pressing and doing back squats, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it, and it wasn't that bad. I think sometimes when you just take a step back and just do it, it should be fine. So initially we can be shy and not want to try new things, but when you step outside your comfort zone and do it, great things can happen.
Absolutely. Okay. The next bullet point is a short one. It says soft spoken. And this is something that I've had to work on, but how many times have we heard Kevin tell guests, you will not overtalk me? So I put that in practice. And when my man starts speaking, I listen. And when he's done speaking, then I pick up. What about you, Lisa?
I've always been soft spoken, but I will say throughout my marriage, I have gotten a little loud and had to be, told, that's not what we need to be doing. I guess the more y'all get to know me, I'll talk about it later. But yeah, that's not where we need to be. We need to bring it back down. So staying soft-spoken, but yeah, it's been an issue sometimes.
Hey, I understand.
Yeah, I would agree with what Lisa's saying. I think it's just having like an internal regulator, right? Where if you find yourself maybe speaking a little bit too loud or a little bit, aggressive, you're going to want to like check yourself and catch yourself when you're in that moment. So I think if we employ an internal regulator, we should be good.
Awesome. Okay. The next bullet point says nurturing and caring in her interaction with her man and others. This one kind of comes easy to me. I'm the daughter of a retired home economics teacher, so I'm always like loving to take care of people, but I just make sure that I put my man first, I serve him first, I check on his needs first, and then take care of everybody else. What about you, Lisa?
Pretty much the same. My parents are still together. They've been married like 40-something, 43 years, 44 years. And when I think about stuff Kevin says, I'm like, yeah, my mom taught me to take care of my husband like my mom took care of my dad and still does. So I had a good example. So this is not a problem for me. I remember when I was dating my husband, he was sick, and he always tells me, well, I remember you put a blanket on me because you want to keep me warm or something. I was like, well, you were sick. So that's very important, and you'll learn that they'll tell you later, like, yeah, I remember you doing that when we were dating, and that meant a lot to him. So that's very important. So yeah,
that's great. What about you?
Yeah, I would say being nurturing and future-wise is a good way to practice, right? Like I usually do that when I'm hosting a barbecue or something. I make sure everybody is good and they have what they need. They know where the bathrooms are. I always just check on everyone and make sure they're good. But also a good way to practice is with friends. I had a friend in New York who was alone and had COVID. So I was just like, hey, sending you an Uber Eats card, buy whatever you need, right? Just those things where you could just practice in your day-to-day life. So if you don't have that marriage yet, there's good ways to work on it as you go.
Absolutely, because we always say being marriage-minded is a mindset. So whether you're a current wife, former wife, or future wife, I think we can all learn from each other. So I'm loving this. I'm learning some things too. All right, back to the list. The next one says, be able to breathe life with her words, meals, touch, fragrance, and patience. Ooh, there's a lot there, but I'll just say yes to all of those. And, as women, we are nurturers. So look at the response. What I've done is look at the response to what I've acted on. So if it's something that's growing and developing, keep doing that. If it's something that's making people recoil from you or your man doesn't like that, cut it off immediately. Not even a conversation. What about you, Lisa?
Yeah, I agree with all this. Definitely for me, what I would do is meals when I provide for my family and friends. And the things that I know I work on is my words and my patience. And that's why I'm a big fan of therapy. I continue to do therapy, and I have family members, even my husband, they're like, you might want to go work on that or talk to somebody about that. And that's fine, because I'm open, tell me if I need to fix that. So yeah, that's fine for me.
Awesome.
I would say two things here. So self-awareness and energy. So obviously bringing that female energy to the things that you do, right? But self-awareness, meaning knowing yourself. Like, I'm an extrovert. Like, I'm a ball of energy. I know I bring joy to situations. So in all of those categories, I would just bring my best self to those situations.
All right, perfect. The next bullet says, trust your man's lead, especially when shown that he's worthy of that trust. Absolutely. And I would even say, give him the benefit of the doubt. Kevin talks about this often when we bring bad experiences into a new relationship. If your man or a man hasn't given you a reason to doubt him, trust him and allow him to prove himself. So that's what I've done. Lisa, what about you?
I would say I like this one. It hits back to me when I look at early in my marriage. I was more of a modern woman than I am now. And when I look back where I should have let my husband lead more instead of us both leading or me trying to help lead, and I look at the years where I let him lead, we had easier go of things if I had just let him lead or stopped trying to help lead, things would have been better. Well, it was a learning curve, but still, when I look back, it makes more sense to let him lead. And so, yeah, I would say, leading was good.
I would say not asking questions either, right? Especially in the early phases of things. In order to display a level of trust, you have to not question somebody's ability to do something or question their thinking in terms of how to do it, right? Because men are very strategic thinkers, right? And if we question their authority or their, how they want to do something, it's kind of offensive in a way, right? I think we save those questions or that feedback if it's invited. But if we just interject it, it doesn't really work out well.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Love it. Okay. The next bullet says non-competitive, have a joint venture mindset. And this is a big one, and I've said this before, men don't want our competition. They want our support. So I think in everything that we do and what I've done is to make sure I'm on your plan, I'm on your team, I'm on your side, and I'm following your lead. So that's what I've done. What about you, Lisa?
I'd say, for the most part, haven't been in competition with my husband, but that's a good point to let people know that you don't want to be in competition. You want to be on his team, on his page. Now, excuse me, I have a 3-year-old in the house.
Hey, that's what wives do. No.
I would say instead of, if you find yourself wanting to compete, change that mindset to trying to assist, right? So being able to help your man accomplish goals and offering guidance and offering assistance, because you never know, like some of us have skill sets where we can help somebody accomplish a goal a lot faster.
Absolutely. Okay. Now we're moving on to the physical category because there's a lot here. The next bullet says soft, touchable hands, toned and smooth legs. Well, how about this? I'm a big advocate of self-care, but some actionable tips that I do, I use soap that's exfoliating so that I make sure every time I wash my hands, I'm scrubbing. And I'll just say I'm a believer in laser hair removal from top to bottom. Lisa, what about you?
I grew up with lotion, and more lotion. So, lotion all over. Before I could probably walk, I was putting lotion on. And my mom's got all kind of lotions all over her house. And my daughter, she would go to grandma's house, and I'm like, "How you know how to do this?" She been at Granny's all weekend. She, Granny lotion. So it's not a problem for me. It was from birth.
Awesome.
Two things here. I would say lots of walking. So if you want to keep your legs toned, a walk a day will do you some justice there. And also hydration. So drinking a lot of water keeps your skin hydrated and moisturized.
Awesome. Another physical bullet we have here, must know how to wear high heels and make wearing flats flattering. Alrighty then. Well, what this says to me is men are always watching, and we know from listening to Kevin that men are visual. I have to say I have to work on heels. I can slip into that kind of comfort mom mode, but what I've done is that I've found heels that I can be comfortable in if it's more of a wedge or more of a block heel, so that I'm not, I'm looking, you know, a little bit more attractive, but appropriate for my age and for how I'm dressed. What about you, Lisa?
This has been a battle for me. Cause I'm like, I'm a housewife. So where am I wearing heels to? You gotta take me somewhere to wear some heels. But when you do, I will wear them. So, but wearing heels is important when you go out and you're representing your family. So, and then you can wear shoes that kind of mimic heels. So I know when I'm out taking my daughter to daycare stuff, I may not be wearing heels, but I'm wearing shoes that mimic heels, and I get a lot of compliments. So that's like my compromise. But just keep some heels. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Future wives, practice. Practice makes perfect, right? So practice on weekends, or if you work in an office environment, I recommend wearing heels every day. I know it sucks, it sounds bad, but if you find like 3 inches or even like 2 inches and you just feel comfortable with them, like there are some shoes that I wear to work where I could run in them, right? Because I've worn them 5 days a week for so many years. As far as flats, I would say flats with a point would be good. And that kind of goes to what Lisa was saying. If you can mimic that look and just, you know, create that feminine shape, right? I think that will definitely help.
Great tip. Okay, we're halfway there. So the next bullet point, smooth, glowing skin, not just the face, but to have a youthful appearance. So what I've done for this, like I said, I'm a big believer in self-care. I do get monthly facials, but I also am very cautious about what I put on my face, knowing that I'm oily. So I have to make sure that I choose products that don't affect that. And honestly, a lot of water. What about you, Lisa?
I was blessed with smooth skin, and anybody that knows me knows I just use soap and water. I don't wash my face a lot, so I'm gonna just leave it there. But yeah, smooth skin is good to have, but I was blessed, and my sisters will tell you to hate me for it. So
awesome.
Thinking about the glow part, right? Vitamins. There's a lot of vitamins that you could take that help your hair, skin, and nails. I have a ton that I take, but I would say that vitamins are a great way to achieve that glowing look.
Excellent tip. Okay, the next bullet point, natural medium length nails. I shouldn't do that. My nail appointment is actually after this. So for nails, I would say, and what I do is find a manicure that works for how you live. I am an active mom. I cook, I clean, I do all of that. So I keep a very simple, clear French manicure on my natural nail, and I get my nails done every month. Lisa, what about you?
I don't do nails. I've never done nails. When I worked, I was an IT person, computer person. I can't do nails. I had my nails done maybe 4 or 5 times in my life, in my adult life. I had them done for my wedding, but I didn't keep them on the honeymoon. I remember taking them off on the cruise ship. So I can't do nails. I just need to be able to. So.
Hey, we can't be perfect, but we can be better.
Yeah, to Lisa's point, I think sometimes when we're doing all this stuff as moms, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're doing all this stuff, you need them to be short. Kevin talks about raptor nails, right? Those are sometimes not the most flattering, because how do you type? How do you do things, right? So to your point, Margaret, they need to be shorter. I would say what I do gel. So, you know, they last 3 weeks. So it's an investment. It looks good. I would say stick with lighter colors. And sometimes it just sounds really nerdy, but sometimes I look at like first ladies and, you know, Meghan Markle and you know, royalty to see what they do with their nails. And ironically, sometimes they do not wear anything on their nails and just keep like a natural coat. And I think that once you do step into motherhood, you ain't gonna want the long raptor.
Yeah, that's not practical. Okay, moving on. The next item says, well-kept natural hair. Doesn't matter the length, strength, or straight or dreads, but I truly prefer shoulder length. Not a deal breaker at all. Well, I'm so glad it's not a deal breaker. So for me, I was blessed with very thick hair, but my hair grows like a tree. I do not have length in my hair, but I make sure that I keep it soft, I keep it conditioned, and I keep the styles that my man likes. So that's what I do for hair. What about you, Lisa?
My hair, right now I've got braids. It's not by choice. I have a nice hair, And I like to keep it shoulder length, maybe a little down my back. It depends on how I'm feeling. But right now, my hair is like an inch long, and I just recently got braids a week ago because I was tired of the teeny weeny afro. But my husband loves, when he met me in the 2000s, I had long lax hair, rocking it. But, he's gone with the natural, but he likes it a certain length. He asked for a bob, so I got a bob braid style. But when I had my longer hair last year and I was wearing an afro, I wear it straight. But I do what my husband, I do what he likes. So a blowout, curly, fro-like, whatever. So I just try to cater to what he likes. And, 5-6 years ago, I shaved it all sideways. He did not like it. But I loved it. It was freeing. It was cool. That was the style. But I can agree. If this is what your man wants, what appeals to him, because they're visual. And I'm learning more recently, because I've known this, but that's what they want. So make it visual.
Absolutely.
So I have naturally curly hair. I think 3 years ago I cut it all off. It was up to here. It's grown in 3 years, but this is vitamins. This is discipline. This is, I think for 1 year I did not apply any heat to it. So it was, I had to even think about the tools I was using and investing in better tools that would work for natural hair, right? I straighten it a little bit too much right now, but it's one of those things where your hair health, it really depends on what you're eating, how you're sleeping, how you take care of it, the things you put in it, throwing in a mask here and there, but keeping it well kept, as what the gentleman said he wanted, is super important too.
Yes, it's not a deal breaker. Thanks, Mr. Detroit, but we'll keep going. The next item, as we round this out, someone that will be able to contribute to the growth of her man's business, if not by skill set, then by representing the brand well during her social interactions. And we've talked about this one. Absolutely. Every time I step out of the house, I make sure if my man were to see me or someone that knows him were to see me, it would be a pleasant experience. So always represent your man well. Lisa, what about you?
Yes. My husband, my father remind me that you represent your husband, you represent your family. So I'm not going to say I've always done this, but I do realize that, and that is very important. And when I go outside, I represent more than just myself. So that is very important.
Absolutely.
I think there's this thing, as females, when we go out into the world and interact, right? Sometimes we can have our husband's business card. Let's say he's blue collar. I find that when I go and get my nails done or something, I'm talking to the nail tech and I'm like, I have to do my driveway. She hands me a business card of her husband who happens to pay her. It's things like that, right? So the more we can talk about it in our social circles and say, hey, my husband does graphic design. Here's his card. Hey, my husband does XYZ. You're promoting that while you're out in the world day to day, I think would be a great way to bring revenue to that business.
Oh, that's a great tip. I love it. Okay, next, a woman that has a loving/healed relationship with her father and mother. She must be ready and always learning how to be a better wife and kindred spirit. Absolutely agree. And that's why we're here. We've all had our experiences and traumas. I'm a big believer in therapy. I've done family therapy, individual therapy, couple therapy, and group therapy. There's no education that's ever wasted. So I'm a full believer in always learning. What about you, Lisa?
Yeah. What I took from this is, coming from a mother-father family with siblings and stuff. So a well-rounded family. And then the therapy part, group therapy, individual therapy, couples therapy, premarital therapy. I've had all that. And so, yeah, I agree. That's good.
What about?
I can't agree more. Therapy, right? But I would also say that your relationships with your parents do change over the years as well. I, for one, talked to my dad, and he's a very different guy than he was 20 years ago. So I would say that just keeping track with those conversations. Same thing with my mom. She's very different from where she was 20 years ago, right? So also just looking at your baseline for how you grew up and also how those relationships evolve.
Gotcha. Great tips. Okay, down to the last 5. All right, the next one. Pets that can live in a cage are okay. I got nothing here. I'm sorry, I'm not an animal lover. My man knows it, but like I said, I took that excursion to the farm, so there's nothing that I can do about pets. I don't have any. What about you, Lisa?
I'm like, live in a cage, always live in a cage, because before I had my daughter, I was a dog mom, and I love my Pomeranian, and he went on trips with me, he went everywhere with me. I was the mom, but he was my husband's dog too, but that was my baby until we got our daughter. So he could live in a cage, but my dog was part of my house. He was at the dinner table and stuff, in pictures, not eating. But so, you know, I hope he likes pets. I was a little, I don't know about that one. I didn't know what he meant.
So I might strike out on this one because I have a dog. I love my dog. She's only one. Her name is Luna. She's a small dog, but as far as cages, we have a crate. So at night we crate her up. You know, she goes into her little den. But you know, that one's a little tough. I find that in our community sometimes there are a lot of people that are just not dog people, right? Yeah. So it's one of those things where I think we can kind of be open-minded with this one, but also I can just hear the Kevin, like, you know, kind of like sound happening as I'm talking right now. So, yep.
I know, I'm haunted by those sound effects sometimes. We had a dog for 10 years in my marriage, and I'm happily pet-free now. It is definitely a commitment. But moving along, 4 to the end. I'm definitely striking out on this one, I'm telling you now. But it says, a woman that would see an injured animal and try to render personal or external aid to it. I got nothing. Call animal control. I have to pass. Lisa?
I thought this was funny because my husband and I were walking, and there were 2 dogs, and I guess they broke out their house, and I was like, let's stop. And he's like, them dogs kill you. You don't know them dogs. So I was trying to be the right good Samaritan, let's check their tags and call their owners. And he was like, nah, them dogs. He was doing his thing, but so that's my take on it.
See, this is another interesting one, right? I think to Lisa's point, it depends on the animal. Like if there's a coyote, I can't help the coyote, right? If there's a skunk, I'm not going to help the skunk. But if there is like, you know, a bird, that's easy, right? And if there's a lost dog or a lost cat, you know, maybe. But I think we have to think about the animals we're talking about here.
Understood. Okay. The next one. A person that can hear her man's concerns and not get confused by becoming tone sensitive. 100% agree. Men communicate differently. This is something that I had to learn. They're going to get straight to the point, and then they'll talk about how you feel afterwards. So let's not confuse the message with how it's being delivered. That's something that I've had to learn. What about you, Lisa?
I still struggle with this, so I can see that that's what they want, but my husband will tell you, he'll tell me his problem, and I may not get it the first time, or get to break it down to me another way. So this is a work in progress for me, being as married as long as I have. So I'm still trying.
I hear you.
I would say there's an aspect of silence where we just have to be open and just listen. And if we don't understand something, wait until he's done communicating, and then maybe ask for an example or ask for a question in a very calm and loving manner.
That's a great tip. Okay, the next one should be easier. He's requesting a grateful person, quick to say thank you. 100% agree. For something little, for something big, always say thank you, because it could be going to somebody else. So if you appreciate it, make sure you communicate that. And that's what I work on every day. What about you, Lisa?
Yeah, you got to show appreciation. And it's important now even more for me, because I want my daughter to show appreciation. And like if I thank him for something, I want her to see, oh, mommy's, you know, so I got to set that example. So yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the spirit of Thanksgiving, right? You want to definitely say thank you, be grateful every day for just the small things, like being able to walk, being able to wake up for the day, like having that gratitude mindset primarily, but also just a small thing. Somebody opens the door for you. Thank you. You know, like we do it out in the world when we're interacting with people, but sometimes I think we do it more at home.
Absolutely. All right, 2 left. We're almost there. So the opposite of that, a person that is quick to apologize and mean it. And yes, this is something that I've learned to work on, because I don't like that sense in the air when things just aren't right. So I just go ahead and take it on the chin and say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to come off that way, or whatever happened. Then we can heal and move forward. What about you, Lisa?
quick to apologize, and yeah, just quick to apologize. Gotcha. I'm very quick to apologize, so there's not much I can say about that.
Okay.
I would say, yeah, absolutely. But what I want to focus on is the and mean it part. I think, apologizing is one thing, but it's really cool that he mentioned and mean it, right? So I think that's a good ask, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I highlighted and I was thinking about what the second part, the mean it part is like. I'll apologize right away, but it might take me 30 minutes to be like, the reason I apologize because I really mean it, because so.
Hey, we're all a work in progress, and being sincere, absolutely, I get it. So the last one on the list says, a person that cherishes quality time in any acts of service. So I think this goes back to gratitude. 100% agree. If someone is doing something kind for you, appreciate it and realize how special it is. That one kind of comes easy to me. But what about you, Lisa?
I guess I took this one as like, I make it a point, like a couple times a week, just any time of the day, just send a text like, I love you, or thank you for taking out the trash, or something stupid. Just that mindfulness, just to tell my husband or even other people in my life that you mean something to me, or I'm just thankful that you're going to work, because he hates going to work, but I'm glad you're doing it. So I appreciate it, and that's what it came to me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, ladies. That was fun, a little rapid fire. And the reason I wanted to do that, one, to respond to Mr. Eyes on Detroit. Thank you again for the feedback. I have to be honest with you guys. When I saw this list, I was kind of like, well, I asked for feedback, wasn't expecting all of this. And so I looked at that list, and I kind of, gave it a little bit of the side eye, like, right. Who is this, a unicorn that you're looking for? But interestingly enough, what I did is I showed the list to my man, because I was kind of hoping he would agree with me that this is ridiculous. And what I learned is, as he looked at the list, he said, yep, exactly. The actual quote was, preach, preacher. So that was a little humbling. So the takeaway and the lesson learned in that, amongst ourselves, within the Wives Club or with your friends, we can be that echo chamber that Kevin talks about, where we kind of like reinforce each other and dismiss something that a man may say is important to him. But it reminded me to check in with your man. So if you have a man, if you want a man, if there's a man in your life that you respect and you trust, ask his opinion, because you might be surprised with what you learn. So that was all that I had.
No, I think that was beautifully said. Like, we need to have these conversations much more often. And even in the comment section, thank you, Mr. Eyes on Detroit. We don't know your name, but this was a fun conversation for us, and I'm looking forward to more feedback.
Absolutely. Lisa, what about you? Any final thoughts?
I thought it was a well thought out list. Not bad. I didn't have anything to disagree with, just a few things but everybody would. But I thought it was a well thought out list, and it's good to hear a man's perspective on what they want. I know what my husband would agree on. I didn't get to talk to him about it, but I'm sure he would agree on quite a lot of this.
Absolutely. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Again, as always, we want to thank Mr. Kevin Samuels for granting us permission to stand up this virtual community. If there are any other ladies, this is exclusive to the Patreon group. So if you're a current wife or a former wife or a future wife and you want to join in on the conversation, please reach out to any of us, and we'd love to have you here. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And if there's any gents watching that have some feedback and want us to talk about some areas that we can improve on, I'll go ahead and extend the invitation again. Let us know your thoughts. But we'll go ahead and end it for now. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.
Bye.
Bye.